Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today for something completely different, I wanted to show you a little free app that I really learned to love over the weeks and months that I've been working with it. We're talking about Krita. First of all, this is a little pun I did on Twitter. Let me translate. Every time someone downloads Krita painting, there are only Brussels sprouts to eat at Adobe. And this is the very gentle burn that the developers put out with about 160,000 downloads a month. That's going to make Adobe have to corner the world market for delicious Brussels sprouts. Chapeau, Krita. Chapeau. What is Krita? Krita is a professional, free and open source painting program. That's all good for me. The problem is I can't paint at all. I paint like a elementary school pupil. But other people can. I just inserted the word Krita into DeviantArt. Look at this. Isn't this great? Yeah, Krita test self-portrait. This was done with Krita. Sikra? You know how to paint. Good picture. Good painting. Okay. You can download it on Windows, Mac and Linux. Of course, I am on the Linux version and I switched from my native German language to English so that we all can have a good time while looking at this. Version 3.3.3. I think it might be the latest version. Oops. Cautious with the corners. Don't get distracted by the corners. Before we begin, I'd like to teach you some basic things about working with digital programs like this. And also we will play the game. How long can we prevent ourselves from using the word Photoshop? A few things about my background. I used to be a media designer before it was called media designer. It was a craftsman's job when I started doing it. The exact word for my job is Reprohersteller Fachrichtung Druckformtechnik, which you can translate with reproduction manufacturer specialized in building printing plates. And it was not a digital job because computers were too slow back then. Dark times. And therefore, I'm not that great of a designer. I'm more of a arranger. If you have, let's say you have a company that's building screws. You can send me 500 pictures of screws and tell me, make a catalog out of this. Here are 500 pictures and here are 500 texts that have to be attached to these pictures. Then I'll go over it. I'll calculate some things. I will look for the right paper and say it will be this big, this much pages, this much time for work, and it will cost you that much. And then I will do it for you. Here you can see the things Krita was designed for, painting. And here you can see my marvelous painting skills. Grass, sun, voila, 10 out of 10. That's my painting skill. I want to teach you some things before I get into doing a flyer as the title suggests. Layers are your friend. Most people don't like layers because they get screwed up. For example, if I try to change something here with the sun and I'm on the wrong layer on the background, it won't happen. But layers are your friends. You don't have to do everything at once. You can switch over here and there. The second thing, and this goes deep into media design. I'll show you. Do I show you now? Do I show later? I show you right away. I just have to look where it is in English. Convert image. The color space. You might have heard of RGB, CMYK, LAB, and so on and so forth. This is very interesting for people who do videos. Most of the time you're dealing with RGB. LibreOffice, for example, an office program, totally different purpose. It's all RGB. That's the way these things work. And that's okay, because RGB is a color model made for computer monitors. It depends on light. CMYK is a very important, but a very different beast. CMYK, it's cyan, magenta, yellow, black. That's what the K stands for. And these are the 4 colors that a printer will use on its printing machine. Doesn't matter if it's a little ink printer you have standing on a desktop or a giant printing machine to print your stuff. And colors are not that flexible as light, as you might imagine when you try to think about it. So we have 1 color channel more. It's 32-bit standard, RGB 24-bit standard, but at the same time, the color space, so the range of colors you can build with CMYK is smaller. How do we get around that? We use color profiles. You don't have to know what this all is about, but let me just show you something. Uncoated means it's perfect for blank paper. Yellowish, it's an old paper, like a daily magazine, a daily newspaper. Coated is the more processed papers, the ones you find on high print magazines like Vogue or any other lifestyle or art magazine, and so on and so forth. Why do we use that? The reason is very simple. Imagine in CMYK, if you just want to mix the color black, you have millions of possibilities. The easiest possibility would be the K channel, the black channel, 100%. Make it all black. It doesn't look that good in 4 colors. It is black, but it's not rich black. The second possibility, make all channels 100%. Give him 400% of paint. It won't dry in years, believe me. So these color profiles are, the practical purpose of them is the color does know what it's made for. And you can convert very easily. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What's important for me, I'm doing a flyer today and the print shop told me ISO coated V2 300% is the profile they want to have. That means I can work in RGB. I can use the whole range from 6 times 0, completely black, to 6 times F, completely white, and it will convert into CMYK in a format that will look good and that won't bother the man who's printing, neither the person who's doing it, nor the machine, nor the paper. Yeah? You see, things get weird when you're trying to leave the comfortable zone of your computer screen and go out and deal with real colors that exist in real life. We're doing a flyer today. There it is. Look at this. This is pure 80s. That's a really, really old 80s party in my hometown. The second generation has taken it over. I didn't design this logo. It was designed by Mike, a fellow media designer and musician who now resides in Higher Bavaria, Oberbayern. Don't know how to translate German provinces into English. And let's look into it. What have I done? At first, I think this kind of desktop publishing stuff was an afterthought by the developers, so some things don't really work that much. So we look into the display settings and we opt out of this. If we leave that, things will be much faster, but at the same time we'll have glitches when dealing with rich text, especially rich text with more than one line. Let's break this down. As I said before, layers are your friend. When I created this image, I put in everything that the print shop has given me on details. It's DIN A6 in scale. It's 300 dpi, and I've added 3 millimeters. Sorry if you're American, I'm used to the metric system. 3 millimeters of extra space, because this will be cut. So you can guarantee after this is printed and cut, it will fill out all to the edge of the paper. This is just a guideline, really a guideline that I did for myself, though, so that everything I do on text will have 5 millimeters distance from the edge. Wonderful. And this picture was given to me by Nico, the one who does the party. It looks like an official film poster. It is not. It seems to be fan art. And first of all, let's get rid of this. A German director called Bully once said a very wise sentence. If you're dealing with media, there's no way around it. There is no make it nice button. So what I did there, I took this little tool. Now I have this color. Should have opted out of this. This color is now on my brush. These are the brushes. This is for pixel. This is for vector. I'm doing pixel. Then I take a nice little basic wet soft. And you see what I did there. Here will be text, so nobody will care that much. That's okay for me. Yeah. Trick 17. We managed that. This would be a different solution for the same problem. Outlines. We don't do outlines because outlines are a lazy man's tool. I did it here because Nico asked for it, and we're doing 80s. In the 80s, outlines were the thing, the hot stuff. Again, what did I do here? Let's add some text. But first, let's get rid of this. The text tool. And now, follow me. Tool options is a very significant thing for everything you do, especially for doing text. Artistic is, I can't work with it, I'm sorry. We choose multi-line. No, that's not what I needed. We draw it all up to here. Okay. And then we format it. We don't use this because we have character settings and paragraph settings, and this will override that. It's not that comfortable, but you'll get used to it. I know that my font was Impact. Yeah, I know it's a Microsoft font, but don't bother. It does the job. It's rich black and condensed. And here, just go through all the tabs, look for yourself. If I want it left, center, right, I think it's self-explaining enough. Good. And maybe I'll do the next one and I want it white. It's right here. Okay. Now we can use this one. Just for the little arrangements, this is good. But if I did some rearranging, especially if I hit the enter key, things will go poof. Yeah, you know where this leads. That's another glitch. I'm glad I can show this. I don't know where it comes from, maybe because I turned off the canvas. Sometimes the marker just stands where it is. Upsala, that's not what I wanted to do. And if it stays here, just push the space button and it's gone. Don't forget to delete the space button afterwards. Yeah, I really like this program. I really do. But it has its glitches because I'm kinda abusing it. It's not made to do artworks. It's made to do drawings. But I can't draw. I like this more than GIMP, I'm honest. I know that GIMP is good. No question. If somebody out there would teach me, I might do the same thing in GIMP, or I might still stay at Krita because I like it. How did I make this gorgeous outline? You see this FX? It's not everywhere, but it's almost everywhere. Layer style. This may remind you the other program we swore not to mention has something very similar. We put the preview on. I want an outer glow. Blend mode normal. I could also darken, lighten, play with it. I don't want to go through all of it and explain everything. Just play with it. Sky's the limit. Genau. And I want a precise, full spread. You see what happens if I decline. It gets more softer. It fades out. Yeah. And the size is just adjustment. This one is already done and printed, but now I see it. Maybe if I'd look over it again, this would be enough for me. So let's leave it like this. What is wrong here? Ah, I see why. I see why. There's not only a layer. The layer is completely black, as you see, but I have a transparency layer attached over it. The reason is I can do wicked stuff with it. I could just take my brush and draw a rainbow field over it. Let's do it. Let's do it right away. This already has certain things attached to it, so away with it. So just that you understand, I already showed you how to do this outline, so on. Let's play with it for a little bit. Do I still have my basic wet soft? That's the way I like it. So this layer is a complete black block. There's nothing to do with it. The shape of the letters comes from a transparency mask. You might know what alpha channels are. Alpha channel is an extra information. You know, RGB is the information. What color is it? And the alpha channel tells every pixel its transparency, its value of transparency. And this is what this is all about. Why did I do it this way? I honestly don't remember, but I know what I could do with it. Let's get rid of the Army of Darkness. It depresses me. Okay, let's say next time we have something like 80s My Little Pony. Therefore, we need color. And therefore, I will delete the black block. It's gone. I have to guess my way into this now, but we can handle that. I'm on an eraser. I don't want to be on an eraser. What's wrong there? This looks fine. So let's make it cutesy rainbow. That's okay, because we have this lovely program that gives us all kinds of possibilities. A nice layer, wet colors. That's great. I love this. Maybe a little green. It shall hurt the eyes. Mike, if you see this, sorry for raping your logo that you designed. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't it? Let's get rid of this outline. Oh God. Oh my God. This is awful. But I like it. I really do like it. Nico, if you see this, please, for the next party, give me something cutesy. Give me My Little Pony. Give me She-Ra. Give me something like this. Here you see what I painted, and the transparency layer gives it the shape that we need to function. Okay, enough screwing around. You know what we do now? I think if you dare yourself to this program long enough, after a while, after reading some forums, you will be able to do these basic things. But then there's the tricky part. You remember my little lecture about CMYK and how gruffy it is. we worked in RGB because transparency effects and so on and so forth work better in RGB. Also, you see, I'm a very lazy person. I did both things on one: data, the foreground and the background. No, come on. Give me the old arrangement. Now I want this to be printed, but it's still in RGB and it's still multiple layers. On a file format Krita, the print shop might be able to handle this, but maybe it won't. And if you give out such raw files, things will break. It's not a matter if, it's not a matter how, things will break, believe me. So what do we do now? All these nice layers we did. Yeah. Bye-bye layers. Now he warns me that some of my layers are opt-out and they will disappear. That's okay. Now that all is processed into one picture, we do our converting. Be cautious not to save now. We need a CMYK. We want to print this. This is the profile I talked about before. The rendering inkage, okay. I'm a big fan of percentual is okay. Relative color metric is okay. I like to use this because therefore black can't be too black. It's a little nod to the person who does the printing. He will have an easier time. Just pushing things and pushing color in a printing machine is much easier than taking things away. Do this. Be friendly to your printer. This looks a little different. It's gotten a bit lighter. Don't worry about this. Let's look into the channels, just for curiosity. These are the things that the one who prints this will see. What I do, I look into cyan and black at the same time and look at the contrast. It looks okay. Then I look into all the colors except black. And it should look kinda alright, except it lacks the deepness. And that's not a perfect solution for this. Yeah, but that's what we did before we had computers. And it never let us down. Remember, don't save. If you save now, all your work and all things you might change will be gone. We go to export. And we make a nice JPEG file, because PNG can't save in CMYK mode. And because this is not a picture that goes on the internet, that's a picture that shall be printed in the best quality. 100% is mandatory. These are the that's what Krita offers you until you discover this tab. Make it good, make it best, make it perfect. Okay, that's it. And then we close it without saving. That's the important part. And open it again. And then I'll switch, opt out all my foreground layers, opt in all my background layers, and do the thing again. And then that's it. And here it is. I finished it a few weeks later. He always gets an RGB JPEG from me. Flyers will be printed. People will go there and have a good time. Thank you for watching. Auf Wiedersehen.